Are you ready to get intimate? Have you ever found yourself dating someone and things are going well, but it's kind of falling flat? You don't really feel like you know the other person on a deep level, and maybe things are escalating or things are kind of gradually moving on to the next step, but your heart really isn't in it. This is due to a lack of intimacy. Hello, I'm Stephanie Michelle, and we're going to talk about intimacy today, and not necessarily the kind that is naked, at least not physically. We're going to talk about emotional intimacy and human connection in a dating context. All right, so the 3 steps to deepening intimacy are: step number 1, understand yourself. Oftentimes, maybe you want to skip on over to step 2. I know a lot of my clients do. They're like, I'd rather not introspect. I'm just going to guess how they feel and then act accordingly to how I think they feel. Okay, let's not do that. Instead, let's get really clear on what your emotions are. How do I feel around this person? What are my thoughts? Do I feel like the best version of myself? Do I feel like I'm not good enough and it's kind of exciting because they're actually still hanging out with me? Go ahead and take this time to understand how you actually feel about yourself and how you feel about them with them. Step number 2, ask how they feel. Sometimes instead of asking, there can actually be a sense of certainty, like, oh yeah, they're probably thinking that I'm the one. They're contacting me every day. Or they're probably not interested because it took them 2 days to reply to that text. Well, what if you asked them? What if instead of questioning or having a false sense of security and certainty in how they feel, what if you operated from a place of curiosity? So go ahead and ask those questions, even if they feel kind of hard. And you don't necessarily need to say, I was thinking it meant this, or, you don't need to bring your stories into the mix. Because again, that's bringing more judging than curious energy into this conversation. So to say, hey, I noticed this behavior, I noticed this pattern. I'm just curious, what this means for you. And to be truly open to learning about their experience. Step number 3, share how you feel. Hand on your heart, let's do this. So you understand how you feel, but you didn't share it right away, because sometimes what that can do with people that are less comfortable with their own vulnerability is, certainly it can inspire them. But if you go super deep into these are all the things I'm feeling and thinking, it's possible that you could be interjecting your projections of them into whatever your share is. And another important reason why this process occurs in this order, in these 3 steps, is where you have that understanding of yourself and you feel rooted in that. You feel confident in that. And then you're able to be truly open to giving and receiving from a place that is tailored to your partner. Because don't you notice when someone goes out of their way to understand you, having a deep desire to understand and to actively put forth actions that bridge that gap between not understanding and understanding a person? That's where intimacy deepens. That's where love is felt. That's where love is shared. To recap, how to deepen intimacy is: step number 1, understand yourself. Step number 2, ask how they feel. Step number 3, share how you feel. I would love to hear in the comments what stood out to you. What was an aha moment? What will you be doing a little bit differently in the future? Wishing you a beautifully intimate day. Until next time.
I would love to invite you to a clarity session with me to find out if working one-on-one is your best next step. If you are ready to up-level your confidence, diminish social anxiety, build authentic, deep connections, and rise into the level of leadership that you are destined to rise into, then let's activate that. You can go over to thestephaniemichelle.com/coaching.